You're listening to the Loving Your Own Soul podcast, and I'm your host, Britt. Guided by my own intuition, my intention is to deliver genuine conversations centered around health and wellness, spirituality, self-expression, and culture. In this space, I will provide you with real-life stories, theories, and inspiring perspectives to help you uncover and tap into your own true potential. I'm so grateful you've chosen to tune in with me on this mindful exploration to living a more fluid life through a deeper connection to the soul. Now let's dive into today's journey. Welcome to the Loving Your Own Soul Weekly Digest. If you're new around here, I'm Britt, and I am so grateful to have you here. Every Thursday, I will digest and decode a different health and wellness, spiritual, trending, or cultural topic so that you can better understand and feel more on trend in the ever-changing world we live in. And this week, in celebration of episode 50, I'm actually going to do an Ask Me Anything episode. So many of you submitted your questions via Instagram, and I'm so grateful for you. I got so many fun questions. I actually received a lot of questions about the podcast journey and starting a podcast and everything like that. So I'm actually going to save all those questions and do them next week for our weekly digest and do it specifically about podcasting, where I will answer your questions specifically. So this week I'm going to do just some of the more generic and personal questions. Really, they are all personal, but because I received so many more podcast specific ones, I thought it would be fun to put those into their own weekly digest episodes. So stay tuned for those. And yeah, episode 50. How exciting, right? By the way, as well, spring has officially sprung down here in Florida. The weather is so beautiful, and I have some of my doors and windows open to enjoy the breeze. You might be able to hear some of the birds chirping in the background. Honestly, enjoy it. That's life. I'm kind of over trying to have this perfect silent makeshift sound studio where everything sounds great, because I just don't feel like that's as authentic as it could be. So if I'm wrong and you actually find it annoying with some of these background noises in your ears, definitely let me know. I can always be corrected and shift, but in the meantime, instead of, closing up the house for the importance of recording some of these episodes, I figured I'm just going to roll with it and let it feel a little more authentic. So let's get into your questions. All right, the first question that I received is, what's your favorite crystal, if any, and why? Thank you for asking this question. I love this question so much. It's so funny. Crystals and rocks and gemstones have always been a huge piece of me. I actually, as a child, was obsessed with them and loved going to rock shops and picking out different ones. I had this whole collection. I wanted to be an archaeologist as well, studying ancient artifacts and working with the earth, and have just always been so obsessed with crystals and gems. I actually wrote a poem when I was younger all about the rainbow and how if we were to travel into the rainbow, each of the colors are all different crystals and things like that, which is really kind of sweet. I think it just shows how spiritual we all are and how all of this is really just a piece of our true innate being. But my favorite crystal, it really kind of varies per what I'm working with at the time. I have so many beautiful crystals. However, I feel really partial to my light blue celestite or celestine, as this crystal, it's just so pretty to me, and I really feel as though she just resembles the depths of my soul, pieces of my soul's home, many colors of my aura with that really icy blue, white, bright, almost kind of frozen-like energy about her. I'm actually holding her right now, looking at her. I also use her for some of my healing sessions as well. She just really, we just get each other. She speaks to me so much, and if you're not familiar, this celestite is really mostly surrounding mental clarity and higher purpose. So can be used for so many different realms and everything like that. I really feel like her energy just feels very angelic to me, bringing in a lot of inner peace and quiet while also elevating my spirit at the same time, and kind of bringing in that deeper connection from other realms. I know as well that Celestite, again, my Sagittarius moon, and just my connection to cultures and all the places of this beautiful world, you can find Celestite all over, from Egypt, Madagascar, Peru, I think even Canada, Mexico, parts of Europe. It's just kind of like all over the world, almost as if these stones have truly fallen from the sky, from the stars, and are just these little beautiful geode crystals composed of so many wonderful elements. So yeah, I just love them so much. There's just so much magic and experience, and yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say. So my light blue Celestite, I guess you could say, is one of my favorite crystals for sure. She's just definitely a piece of me. All right, so next question. What is your favorite spiritual practice or modality, and why? Such a good question. And honestly, anything under the sun, but to get more specific, so for me, spirituality looks like all different realms. I would say that getting colonics to me is one of my favorite spiritual wellness modalities because of the way that my body gets cleaned out, detoxifies my vessel. It also really opens up my channel, and I feel that much more clear and clean, and I'm able to receive messages better. All of the colors as well of the earth, everything is more vibrant after, and I definitely get this kind of just angelic feeling. So a colonic for sure, which you may not think of that as a spiritual modality, but I definitely do. And really cleaning myself out to that point. Baths as well. I find a lot of inner peace and connection, and just kind of this mystical sense in my baths. I feel very connected to the mermaids and beings who have been around a lot of water. It makes me feel very goddess and queen-like, and kind of brings out the divine feminine in me. So I would definitely consider that to be one. Watching the sunset and sunrise, hands down. Really just showing my gratitude for the earth, for the elements. I feel so connected to the sun. I also feel very connected to the moon as well, and moon energy. But for me, the sun is so healing. So just really taking in the beautiful show that our earth presents to us every night and morning. I love the sunrise and sunset, just the changing of the sky, the symbolism behind each. And it's one that I really feel, I know the sun is typically portrayed as a masculine energy. However, sunrise and sunset feels very feminine to me. So I feel very connected again to my divine feminine. I can really feel it slow down, but yet like open myself up at the same time. The sunrise is very energizing. The sunset is very healing. They're always going to happen. They're always different. You never know what to expect. And I just feel that there's just a lot of spiritual magic that takes place at both times of day. Let me see, what other favorite spiritual practices? I mean, meditation for sure. Guided meditation, doing visualizations. I love chanting during meditations, kundalini, really all forms of meditation, getting quiet within my mind. I love it so much, connecting with my breath. I highly recommend it. Journaling as well. Channel journaling, that automatic writing, I find so much clarity and flow with. Getting out in nature, putting my feet in the grass, going on walks or runs are so incredible. Setting up, a really healing ritual for myself, connecting, working with my crystals, working with the energy, cleansing my space, going inward, even going through different like past life regressions or tapping into the Akashic records, I found to be so beneficial. I've honestly done so many different things. Oh my gosh, crystal bowl, sound baths, sound healing sessions. Oh, they are the best. Truly, they feel so good, so cleansing. And to that point too, sitting in circles with people. Sitting in circles with women or other individuals at studios and going to crystal bowl sound baths and being in that energy, I find to be very spiritual as well. So really all of them, but those are just some little ones for you there. Next question. What place inspires you the most? The entire world, outer space, as above, so below, all of it. No, honestly, what inspires me the most is when I'm by the ocean, in a tropical destination, somewhere that has open air cafes or restaurants with palm trees and shade and sun glistening in through the trees. You can see the ocean, you can feel it, you can smell it, having bare feet with my feet in the sand or in the ground, and just a place where I can just become one with the earth, with the ocean, be somewhere that has good food, can eat and write and journal and talk and have conversations and move my body and just lay in the ocean. Being in tropical destinations is such a part of my being and my soul. So I definitely receive the most inspiration from those places for sure. All right, next question. What is the thing you like most about yourself? This is a really fun question because I feel like it actually can shift and kind of is an ever-evolving relationship with myself, an ever-evolving door, I guess you could say. But the thing I like most about myself right now probably would be my sense of compassion. Compassion for myself, compassion for others, compassion for my own journey and where I am, my experiences, but then also compassion for others and their journey, and understanding that some things are not mine, some belong to others. Others are really not reacting to me, they're reacting to themselves, even though it can oftentimes feel opposite. But yeah, just my compassion for myself and others, and compassion for the world and life and all the things around us. We live in a very beautiful time, even though I know it may not feel like it always. To that point, so next question. You always seem so confident and positive. Do you ever have bad days? Yes. Duality of it, positive and negative, good and bad. And thank you, by the way. That's a really nice compliment. I definitely really appreciate that. But do I ever have bad days? Absolutely. The ebbs and flows of life. But on my, quote unquote bad days, I've really learned, again, I was just talking about compassion, but to just kind of hold compassion for myself and space for myself, and trying to really just witnessing more of my life and understanding, okay, this is something I'm experiencing versus this is something that is happening to me right now and the world is going to end and all things are lost. So yes, I have bad days. I hold compassion for myself. I try to go slow on those days. I definitely have anxiety that creeps up, imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome. We all fall into the traps. We're all human. But again, that's just part of being human and the human experience. So I hold compassion and I move myself through them wherever possible. And I know that with every bad day, there's always a good one to follow. So I just kind of keep my eyes knowing that there's that positive road ahead, and the universe always has my back too. So some things that might feel like a bad day or an experience I don't understand can often shape up to be something more positive or a better route or something that comes later that I couldn't have understood in the moment. And let's see, I think this is the final question. Yes. All right, final question. What does your future self look like? So I saw a quote recently that said, everything you desire has already happened. Time just hasn't caught up yet. And that really resonated and really stuck with me. So my future self is still a podcast host, for sure, a world-renowned podcast host. She is a global speaker, a published author, a leader in holistic and intuitive wellness. She's a mom and a wife and has a beautiful family. She lives by the water. She moves her body. She feels good about herself. She is a healer, a light worker, and she is really just making a positive impact on the world around her, the future of our world, looking out for our future generations, and really is just a key piece in getting our world back to the utopia that it once knew to be, and having so much fun along the way, and just really loving and dancing with all that life has to offer. And yeah, that's it. So those are all the questions that I'm going to answer today, just because I like to keep my weekly digest episodes a little bit shorter. And definitely tune in next week where I will be answering all of your podcast episode questions. If you do have more questions that you want to learn about me, definitely shoot me a DM over on Instagram at Loving Your Own Soul. I think I will do more of these. This was really fun. Thank you so much to all of you who submitted your questions. And yeah, thank you to all of you for also tuning in here today for our weekly digest, celebrating episode 50 with me. And I look forward to continuing the journey with you again soon.